The movie opens aboard an airplane carrying a mysterious container in the cargo hold. While the aircraft is flying, it suddenly enters a powerful storm, sending the large box crashing to the floor. The impact also damages the experimental container, causing it to break open and releasing the female subject inside. However, the woman has no idea who she is and keeps experiencing strange flashes in her mind. One guard hears the noise and rushes toward the cargo area to investigate. The moment he sees the woman, he raises his weapon and fires, but his shot misses her and strikes an electrical control box instead. The damage immediately cuts off the plane's communication system. Confused and frightened, the woman begs the guard not to shoot her. He pretends to calm down, but when she raises her hands and slowly steps out, the guard suddenly opens fire again. Believing he has killed her, he starts reloading his weapon, but when he looks again, the woman has mysteriously disappeared. Before he can understand what happened, she suddenly reappears as a zombie and attacks him. Meanwhile, the aircraft encounters another burst of turbulence, making the entire plane shake. Dr. Bennett, the scientist responsible for the experiment, sends the co-pilot and 2 assistants down to the cargo hold to find out what is happening. When they arrive, they discover the damaged electrical box and the empty experimental container. Before they can leave the area, the zombie suddenly attacks them. Both assistants are killed, while the co-pilot barely manages to survive and escape back to the cockpit. The co-pilot immediately tells Dr. Bennett what happened and demands to know exactly what had been inside the container. He also informs the captain and strongly recommends that they land at the nearest airport. The captain contacts Judd, a TSA officer, and asks for assistance. Judd questions Dr. Bennett about the strange cargo, but Bennett insists that the information is confidential. Judd and his colleague Burroughs decide to investigate the cargo hold themselves. When they arrive, they find nothing except blood scattered across the floor. They also notice that a ventilation duct has been left open, so they decide to split up and search through it. Judd crawls into the ventilation system and comes face to face with a zombie. Terrified, he immediately fires his gun. The shot alarms Burroughs, who rushes back toward the cargo hold. While Burroughs calls out for Judd, another zombie suddenly attacks him. Judd arrives just in time to help, but while firing again, he accidentally shoots through the ceiling. The bullet passes into the passenger cabin above and hits a flight attendant. Panic instantly spreads among the passengers. At the same time, another flight attendant tries to inform the captain about what is happening. Unfortunately, she fails to notice a zombie sneaking up behind her. Her screams alert the captain, who orders the co-pilot to investigate. When the co-pilot reaches the area, he sees the zombie dragging the wounded flight attendant. He quickly shoots the creature and closes the cargo door. The passengers hear the gunshots and become increasingly frightened. Many of them gather near the cargo door while the co-pilot locks it securely inside the airplane restroom. A young woman is suddenly attacked by a zombie hiding behind a mirror. Her boyfriend rushes over after hearing the commotion, but when he opens the restroom door, she has disappeared. Moments later, she suddenly emerges as a zombie and attacks another passenger nearby. Luckily, the plane suddenly climbs sharply, causing the zombies to lose their balance and slide backward toward the cargo area. Nobody yet realizes the fact that anyone bitten by one of these creatures will eventually become infected. Meanwhile, the co-pilot is securing the cabin door when the previously bitten flight attendant suddenly mutates into a zombie and bites him. The passengers hear the struggle and rush over to see what is happening, only to discover that even more zombies are approaching. Dr. Bennett completely loses his nerve and runs toward the cockpit, hoping to find somewhere safe. During the chaos, one passenger falls to the floor. While desperately searching for his glasses, a zombie's hand reaches through an opening, grabs him and drags him away. Billy approaches the cockpit and demands an explanation from Dr. Bennett. Suddenly, a zombie appears behind the scientist. Billy reacts immediately and uses a stick to knock the creature down the stairs. More zombies begin entering the passenger cabin through the hole that has been created in the floor. Billy goes downstairs, finds the co-pilot's pistol, and prepares himself to fight. At that exact moment, the cargo door suddenly opens, startling him. Fortunately, Judd and Burroughs emerge from the cargo area. They tell Billy to find somewhere safe while they stay behind and deal with the zombies. By this point, a large section of the cabin has already been overrun. One unaware stewardess nearly steps toward the zombies, thinking she can help, but she freezes when she realizes she is surrounded. Fortunately, a male passenger reaches her just in time and pulls her away. While escaping, they encounter a nun who has already been bitten. There is nothing they can do for her, so they continue running until they eventually find Judd and Burroughs. The situation becomes increasingly desperate as more passengers are infected and the zombie population continues to grow. The remaining survivors block one of the passages with whatever supplies they can find, arm themselves with pistols, and take positions to defend the area. Meanwhile, Billy and 3 other survivors discover a ventilation pipe and decide to crawl through it to reach another part of the aircraft. While moving through the narrow passage, Billy questions Dr. Bennett about the mysterious experiment. Bennett explains that he was simply carrying out orders and never expected the experiment to mutate into such a horrifying creature. Suddenly, the airplane drops sharply and begins shaking violently. One of the women loses her balance and falls directly into a section of the cabin filled with zombies. Dr. Bennett also loses his balance and falls into the zombie-filled area. The zombies are excited by the sight of fresh prey and immediately swarm him. Only Billy and his wife manage to survive the chaos and eventually reunite with Judd and the other survivors. At the same time, the captain hears the co-pilot calling for help from outside the cockpit. Without realizing that the co-pilot has already been bitten, the captain opens the cockpit door, but when he turns around, he discovers that the co-pilot has already completed his transformation and become a zombie. The remaining survivors finally realize that they cannot simply wait for the aircraft to land. They attempt to contact the cockpit, unaware that the captain is already dead and the plane is flying on autopilot. They decide that they must reach the cockpit themselves. To survive the journey, they need the additional weapons stored inside the cargo hold. Burroughs quickly constructs a makeshift bomb. He throws it into the cargo area, and the resulting explosion wipes out most of the zombies inside. He then enters the cargo hold, collects the available weapons, and brings them back to the survivors. Just then, they look outside and notice a fighter jet flying alongside them. At first, they believe the military aircraft has arrived to rescue them, but the fighter jet has actually been sent to destroy their plane. Ground control has lost communication with the aircraft and suspects that the deadly virus has escaped. The military has ordered the fighter jet to confirm that nobody is still alive before launching its missiles. If the aircraft receives no response within 3 minutes, it will destroy the plane. Fortunately, one of the passengers knows how to fly an aircraft. They decide they must fight their way through the zombies and reach the cockpit so they can send a distress signal before the fighter jet attacks. During the struggle, Billy and his wife are both bitten. Realizing that their transformation is inevitable, they choose to sacrifice themselves so the others can escape. They open the aircraft's hatch, allowing themselves and the zombies surrounding them to be sucked out of the plane together. Meanwhile, Burroughs and the remaining survivors finally reach the cockpit, but before they can send a distress signal, the fighter jet launches its missiles. The missiles strike the airplane, ripping a massive hole through the cabin. The force of the impact sends numerous zombies flying out into the sky. Some of the undead are even thrown directly into the fighter jet, causing the military aircraft to crash as well. The damaged passenger plane begins plunging rapidly toward the ground. Despite the destruction and chaos, the survivors manage to regain control and guide the aircraft through the clouds. Against all odds, they successfully land in the middle of a desert. Only 4 people survive the crash and make it out of the plane alive, but their nightmare is far from finished. A few zombies have somehow survived the crash as well. They slowly leave the wreckage and begin wandering toward a nearby city. The survivors have escaped the aircraft, but the deadly infection has escaped with them.